No matter how much you delegate and get off your plate, everything still just ends up coming back to you. And you've probably caught yourself saying this, man, I'll just take care of it. And it's not because you want to take care of it. It's just easier if you do. Because if you don't do it, you're not confident that it's going to get done right or handled correctly. And if it doesn't, that's when everything starts stacking on top of you. You start running this dialogue in your head. I just need to get this done. I'll feel so much better once I get this off my plate and done. You know what? Let me go and knock out this one other thing real quick. And before you know it, you've just placed yourself back in the middle of everything in your business again. And you find yourself sitting there thinking like, dude, why do I have to just do all of this by myself? Why do my employees not pull their own weight? I really just wish that they cared about the business the way that I do. And it's not just even what you're doing, it's everything that you feel like you have to carry with the business. It's not the physical stuff, it's the mental part of it. I've got too many things going on in my head right now, and everything just feels like it is top priority. And when it feels that way, I can't let anything slip or fall through the cracks. And then you're thinking a million steps ahead, you're catching all the things, you're making sure that nothing is falling through the cracks at the same time. Even when you're not working, you're still working mentally all the time, because there's always something that your brain is going to find that needs you. And this is the moment that most people and most business owners completely overlook. Because it's not when something goes wrong or a mistake is made. It happens way before that. When someone on your team is handling something that you delegated to them. And it's just different. They're not necessarily doing it wrong. They're just not doing it how you would do it. And that's when things maybe are like going slower than you would be doing it, or they're asking questions that you wouldn't be asking, and probably what just feels like way too many questions, right? And you're watching them approach it just in a way that you're not used to seeing it be done. And it's in that moment that you have this physical reaction to it. And you notice that little spike of anxiousness and worry and the tension that shows up in your chest. And it's that thought that comes in before you even realize it. Oh my gosh, this is just going to come back right to me. The client's not even going to like this. Oh man, this could really turn into a bigger problem than it already is. And before anything actually happens, you've already decided where this is going to go and where it's going to end up. So of course you step back in and you take it back, and then that inner dialogue shows up. I'll handle this. And of course it gets done by you. And for a second, there's relief. You feel better. It got done. Good thing I stepped in. I knew it. But then all those thoughts and that feeling, it shifts. And now you're right back in it again. The relief, the thought comes back around now as, why do I have to do everything myself? Why can't they just do this? I just really want them to pull their own weight for once. That right there is the loop, and it just plays over and over and over again. And the more this repeats itself, you just begin to justify it. Well, they just don't have the experience that I have. I mean, I've been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 35 years, whatever it is, right? They just haven't learned what I've learned yet. And on the surface, like logically, I get it. That does make sense because you have learned a lot. You have put in the reps, made the hard and costly mistakes. You've seen what goes wrong. And because of that, you now know how to navigate things. But here's the part that usually just doesn't get said out loud or talked through by the business owner. Like, how did you learn all of that? Well, you learn by making those mistakes, right? That's how you built your experience. That's how you got to where you are right now. So you can do it the way you do it. But now, you're not willing to let them do the same? Because you can live with it when you make the mistake, but you can't live it when they do? That's the difference here. That's why you feel like everything still has to be done by you and you alone. You don't step in because your team is incapable and they can't handle it. You step in because you just don't trust what happens if your team and employees don't. You don't trust how it's going to play out. You don't trust how it reflects the business, and your reputation. You don't trust what the client might think about you if something just isn't up to par. So you stay in control. And after doing this for years, it stops being something that you just do and it becomes who you are. You take on this identity that you're the one people rely on. You're the one who makes sure it all gets done. You're the one who just has to hold it all together. And if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? Better yet, who are you? Having a business, at least to me, is kind of like having a kid. No one is ever going to care about your kid the way that you do. They're not going to love them the way you do. They're not going to do the things that you do for them because, well, it's not because they don't care. It's because those kids are not their kids, right? And it's the same thing with your business. Like, no one is just going to care about your business the way that you do, like you do, or even at the level that you do. In the moment that you're expecting them to, you are setting yourself up to carry everything by yourself. And at some point, you have to let people do things differently, even if it's uncomfortable for you to watch, even if it's just not how you would do it. Because guess what? That's how they're going to learn. That's how you learned. You're not giving them the same opportunity. And if you don't let that happen, you are going to stay the one in the middle of everything in your business. You are going to be the business. So if it feels like everything in your business does still come back to you, I do want to encourage you and say, like, it's not because you have a bad team. It's just because you don't trust what happens when you're not the one doing the things and in control. And the more that you step in and make sure that everything is working and firing on all cylinders, the more that you guarantee that everything is still going to keep running through you. So if you're a business owner and this is the kind of stuff that you experience, I make videos like this every week. Feel free to stick around, like this video if it was truly valuable to you, and subscribe if you want to see more.